we've got an interesting project shaping up. I'm building an instrument for a friend who is having mobility issues with his hands. He used to play the guitar. He can't play the guitar anymore, but he wants to still be able to play music. So here's what we've come up with. Is combine the body of a baroque guitar with the neck layout of a mountain dulcimer. Here's the drawings I came up with. It's a cutaway, so he has access to the high frets. I'm sure we'll find some challenges along the way. That always happens with something new like this. So let's dig into the woodpile and see what we can find. Well, the first thing to do is pick out the wood for the back and sides. And I've got a really good match and some nice figure. I cut these pieces sequentially and numbered them so I can match pretty well the figure running all the way up the back. But it's a pretty handsome piece of wood. The next step will be to make it into one panel and plane it to thickness. And at the same time, I'll plane out the pieces for the sides. I'm using the jointer to get an approximate joint for the center. You can use a jointer on cabinet work, it's fine, but for lutherie you need a really good joint. So I'll be fine-tuning it with my long plane on a shooting board. Well, the figure here is really nice, but I need 9.5 inches. And I'd like to get rid of that dark spot anyway. So I've got to spread that out 1.5 inches. When I cut this tree, I resawed it into sequential pieces. So I've got a third piece here, and I can match the grain really well and the figure. So there. What I'll do is plane one edge of this third piece and then resaw it to fit in the gap. Then all we've got to do is glue up the panel and get it the right thickness, or rather thinness. Now here's my primitive shooting board set up. Got the plane set to take a very fine cut, and this is the order that they're going to be. So what you need to do to make sure the angles match is fold it up like a book. That way, if the angle of the plane is off a little bit, it will compensate. Pretty straight already, so I should only have to take a couple of passes. So I keep repeating this process until when I hold the joint up to the light, I can't see any light coming through it. It only took maybe 5 minutes to do this whole process. The method that I use for joining these plates is, first of all, to run a line of blue tape down the seam, making sure that it's tight. This one's a little more complex because there's two seams. And I'm doing it this side up because I can see my alignment marks. Okay. And this acts like a hinge. Then the trick is to turn it over that. And that opens up the seam just a little bit. Now the trick. Clamp a block on the other side. You should always have your clamps ready to go, like I didn't this time. There, I think we're ready. So, what you do is pop it up and put some glue in that hinge. Make sure it's all the way in, everywhere. That looks good. And we'll pop up the other hinge. Looks pretty good. Okay, then we drop it down and we pull that out. Then take our go bars and pop it down. The great thing about go bars is you can get at the seam to clean up the squeeze out. Of course, this whole thing has to be thicknessed, so the glue will go away anyway. I've glued up plates before without using any clamping, just using the suction of the glue. And it works, but seems a little bit scary. So there. Here's the deck squeezed by the go bars, and they go up to the ceiling, where they, when I'm not using them, they live in that box. It's a great method. Well, that's it for the first installment of the Guitulcimer build. That's what we've decided to call this thing. If you'd like to keep up with this project as it develops, consider going to patreon.com/harperswood and becoming a patron. Patrons get early access to these videos and some exclusive patron-only content as well. Thanks for watching. See you next time.